All right, we're going to talk about something that's, well, literally foundational to our everyday lives. The health of our bridges, our buildings, all of it. We're going to dive into the amazing technology that could stop disasters before they even have a chance to start. So let's just get right to it with the big question. In an age where we have smartphones, smart homes, smart everything, how is it possible that massive, absolutely critical structures like bridges can still fail so badly and seemingly out of nowhere? And look, this isn't some theoretical problem. This is real, and it's recent. Just think about the Majahart Bridge collapse in Kolkata back in 2018, or the awful tragedy at the Morbi Bridge in 2022. These aren't just headlines, they're devastating reminders of what is truly at stake. You know, we tend to see these collapses as these sudden, shocking events. But the truth is, they're usually just the final, terrible chapter in a long story of decay. The warnings are there, but they're often completely silent. Here's the best way to think about it. Imagine a bridge is like a living thing. It's under constant pressure, right? From traffic, from the weather, just from getting older. And just like a person, it starts developing stress points, little weaknesses, tiny signs of fatigue that show up long before you'd ever see a crack with your own eyes. So if these structures are showing signs of stress, how in the world do we pick up on them? Well, what if we could actually give our infrastructure a voice? Or, maybe even better, what if we could install a nervous system into our most important structures? And that brings us to the key idea here. It's called structural health monitoring, or just SHM for short. It's basically a strategy for constantly checking up on the health of a structure, catching damage, and really understanding its condition in real time. Think about the difference like this. The old way, manual inspection, that's kind of like going to the doctor for a checkup once a year. It's just a snapshot, right? It could easily miss a problem that's just starting. But SHM? That's like wearing a fitness tracker 24/7 that monitors every single vital sign, catching issues the very moment they begin. So this whole digital nervous system thing sounds pretty cool, right? But how does it actually work? How can we literally listen to a bridge? Well, the tech is this really amazing mix of hardware and software, all working together perfectly. It's basically a nonstop four-step loop. First, it has to sense. You have all these tiny sensors placed all over the structure, and they're constantly measuring everything: vibrations, stress, even temperature. Then, they transmit all that data, using IoT to send it up to the cloud. From there, really powerful algorithms analyze all of that info, searching for any little anomaly that could spell trouble. And finally, if a problem is spotted, the system sends an immediate alert straight to the engineers, giving them a heads up long before things get dangerous. And this is exactly how that whole nervous system idea really comes to life. The sensors? They're the nerves, feeling every little thing that happens to the bridge. The data platforms and the software? That's the brain, processing everything. And those automated alerts? Well, those are the life-saving reflexes, responding to danger in an instant. Okay, so let's bring this story right back home to India, because right now there's this huge split in how our infrastructure is being looked after. It is genuinely a tale of two very different approaches, and not surprisingly, two very different results. And the contrast couldn't be more clear. On one side, you have older structures like the Majahart Bridge. It relied on those periodic, manual checks, which gave them very limited data, and we all know the tragic outcome. On the other side, you have a modern marvel, like the Chenab Bridge, the highest rail bridge in the entire world. It was built from day one with continuous, IoT-based monitoring. The result? Real-time predictive data and world-class safety. And the Chenab Bridge is not an exception. We're talking about iconic structures like Mumbai's Bandra-Worli Sea Link and so many of the new metro rail projects popping up across the country. They all depend on structural health monitoring to keep them safe for the long haul. This tech is here, and it is already working. What's really crucial here is that this isn't just about us importing technology from somewhere else. We're actually seeing the development of homegrown indigenous IoT solutions, systems that are built specifically for the unique challenges we face in India, like our climate and, let's be honest, our heavy traffic. And that system has a name. It's called Build Pulse, and it was developed by India's very own Ghosh group. It's a perfect example of this homegrown innovation. It proves we have the talent and the capability right here to build these digital nervous systems for our country. So all of this leads us to the final and probably most important question. We have the technology, we've got the expertise, so what's stopping us from using this on all of our critical infrastructure? how do we actually go about building a safer future? Take a look at these numbers. Globally, the standard for this kind of monitoring on critical infrastructure is moving toward 85% adoption. In India, our current rate is way down, closer to 20%. Now, you could look at that and see a failure, but I see it as a massive opportunity. That is the gap we need to close. And that is the absolute key takeaway. We don't need to go out and invent some brand new solution. It's already here. The real challenge is about implementation. It's about policy, it's about investment, and it's about having the will to roll out this life-saving tech everywhere on our older structures and making it standard on all the new ones. So I'll just leave you with this one thought. Every tiny vibration, every little shift in temperature, every bit of strain, it's all data. Our infrastructure is constantly talking to us, telling us how it's doing. The technology now gives us the ability to hear it. The only question left is, are we finally ready to listen?